Hi guys. This is my big lathe, I guess. I'm gonna start doing a little bit of work on it, a little maintenance. This is actually a Lansing 20. It's actually made by Grazioli out of Italy. So I'll give you some pictures of it. And it has 16 speeds. I believe it goes from 35 to 1700. And at 8 speeds, you run the three-phase motor in one direction, and to get the other 8 speeds, you reverse the motor and you get the other 8 gears, which gives you a total of 16. And it has an L1 chuck. It's a gap bed, so it's 20, and if you take the gap out in here, it's 20/28 by what is that, 82? It's pretty long. Anyway, what I want to do is, if you look in between there, you can kind of see a little red paint. So I believe it was red originally, so that's what I'm going to do. That one there, I was cleaning out my brush and I thought, oh, that looks pretty good, so we're going to start cleaning this out and painting it. I already got this one needle scaled off, and so I'll have to keep working my way down through here and get that cleaned up. So you get the light in there just right. You can see the red tint. That was the original in there. So anyway, I'm going to get that all cleaned up and that painted. Next thing I'm going to do is, this thing has an oil pump. I got this cover off, and you see that red box there? That's an oil pump. It's actually a piston pump, so whatever direction the motor runs, it still pumps oil, but it's noisy. And if you can look around, you can see my problem. It's leaking oil. The shaft where the pulley's on, it flings out oil all the time. Inside of there, oh, I got rags in there and they're just soaked with oil. So I want to do something different there. The leaking oil is not the bad part. This is the bad part. Now we're just going to turn it on. Use a drum switch so I can switch the motor forward or reverse. So we're just going to turn it on. And right now the spindle is not running. There, I got it in gear, so we'll just turn it on. Now, hear that noise? That's all from the oil pump. So it makes a lot of noise. And see, my spindle's not even spinning. So all that noise is coming from that oil pump. So let's put the spindle in gear. We have a clutch. Has a clutch here for a forward. We can go that way, or we can reverse it. Go that way, and then you can use it as a brake too. Anyway, here's forward. I hear a lot of the oil pump yet, so I have to listen to the oil pump all the time. Now this is how you use the brake. You just use the reverse and it brakes it. That gets annoying after running it for 8 hours a day. I'll show you what we're going to do. Now there, we got all this is cleaned up. Getting ready to paint it. Everything's all cleaned up. You can see where, after I got it cleaned, you can see the red better now. I masked off some areas there. Took the chuck off so I can get underneath there. Get that all painted up. We'll put 2 coats of paint on. 'Cause one coat never seems to be good enough, and you always miss something. So next we do the paint. There, we got all the red painted in there. That's the way it kind of looks. But some projects, one thing leads to another, so, well, tailstock's gone. Oh, there's part of it. There's some more of it. It's like all the paint's off of it. You got a bunch more stuff tore apart down here. There's one cover. We're trying some paint remover on that. Starting to work on it. And well, we did a bunch of sanding. So I guess we're going to paint the rest of it now. Clean it up. One good coat of paint. Should make her look pretty good. Well, it's been about 3 hours since I put the paint remover off. And it's doing a number on it, so here's the other one, so it looks like everything's all lifted off. Time to start scraping. Now we're getting prepared for painting. Everything's cleaned up, masked off. Tore apart. And more parts ready to paint. Some of these will get 2 coats. Well, some painting done. Tailstock. Got the oil pump ordered for it. It'll be here sometime this week. A little more painting left to do on it. Here's the red. Some pretty heavy webbing inside of it. And this is a cover that I found on it. And there's the red. So that's pretty close. And I've been doing some leveling. I don't know if I can get that in there to show you. Hard to get that to focus. But that's coming around pretty good. controls are all painted. And if I can get the whole thing in there now. Here. Hi guys. Oh, back on the old lathe again here. I'm going to show you my setup for testing the tailstock. Or aligning the tailstock. First of all, I put a center in here, and then I dialed it in, and then I recut the center, and then I made this test bar out of a piece of chrome shaft, and both ends are drilled and countersunk with the forejaw. And then after I did that, I went in and I used a very small boring bar to true up the center holes. So I believe this is fairly accurate. Everybody, this is my setup for aligning a tailstock up. Everybody always puts this one on and gets it as close as they can and calls it good enough. Well, I'm saying that's not good enough, because I know from experience, if this lathe or anybody's lathe, how many times has this tailstock been slid back and forth in its lifetime? Well, mine was not square underneath here. It was like this. It was crowned like this. I know that's an exaggeration, but so I hand scraped the bottom of this within 2/10 and got it flat. Slides really good now, I'll tell you that. Then I assembled it, put this setup on here, and ran that down, and we got down to this end. Well, we were about 15 thousandths low. So I split the two pieces here and put 15 thousandths of shims underneath of there, put it all back together, and now I'm going to show you this test. Now that's on 0, and that one's on 0. So here we go to the other end. Now that's on 0, and that's on 0. Now the tailstock is lined up. I'd like to challenge anybody else to test their tailstock this way and see what they find out. And I'd like to hear what you have to say, and that's one way to correct your tailstock and align it properly. Okay, I finally got a couple packages in today. This one here, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for it. So finally I called up the company and said, well, I haven't got this yet, and it's been 3 weeks yet. Well, let's go check. And sure enough, they go back and look, and well, it's still sitting on their shelf that never got sent. Anyway, I took this out. It's kind of hard to do this one-handed, so anyway, here, that is going to be in the new oil pump for this lathe. Now, what we got to do is take that oil pump down here, and somehow we're going to get that oil pump in there with a reservoir. I thought maybe I could use the old reservoir, but it don't look so like I can now. But I don't know. I'm going to take that one out and see what I can figure out. And, but that's a 1/4 horse motor with a oil pump on it, and then it has a pressure regulator built into it also, so I could adjust the pressure, because all it's really got to do, and this is called a lubricating pump. So I don't think it makes, you know, like pressure. And all it's really got to do is pump oil up to the top of the lathe, and then it this has got this sight gauge so you can see it coming up here, and then it goes into a pan underneath here, and then it's got drippers, and then it just drips back, runs back down into the reservoir again, and it just kind of lubricates itself that way. Well, that's that project anyway. And got another package here. I got some brass bushings. Nice little ones, huh? This might be my first project on this lathe when I get the oiler done. Anyway, I got these, which are obsolete. It's a steel back bronze bushing. It goes on a rock shaft on AGCO tractors, and they just don't make them anymore. So I found this. It's the right size, right diameter on, right diameter on the outside, but as you can see, they're long. These are 2 inches long, and these are 5. I couldn't come up with, they had 4s, 6s, and 8s in this length. Or no, 4s, 5s, and 6s, that's what it was. 4, 5s, and 6s, and I got the 5s, but I didn't want to make these any shorter, so I thought 4 wouldn't work, because I couldn't get 2 of them 2 inches long. 6 wouldn't work, so I decided to go with this 5-inch piece. You know, I'll make 2 2-inch pieces out of there, and we got to make 10 of them bushings out of there. Anyway, hopefully the next time you see this thing on, I'll have an oil pump in it, and maybe we can test run it a little bit. There's some features I want to show on it. It's actually set up with a stop on the carriage this way, and then it has a bar right here with stops on it. You can turn. I got 3 of them made for it, so they'll come up and then they hit on this and stops the carriage. So I got 3 of them made, so you got, that would be like that'd be position 1, and then you can turn it. You could have position 2, and turn it again, you'd have position 3. And there's actually six of these that you could have on there, and it works good. It's kind of handy, especially if you're boring into a blind hole or something like that. Anyway, maybe we can show that operating a little bit when I get it going again. Well, I thought I'd show you what we kind of did here so far. I got the pump mounted where the old reservoir used to be at. And I got to take this all out, and I made a separate reservoir. You can kind of see it back there with some fittings sitting on it and stuff, and there's a fill hole right there. So that's my pump. Motor and pump will sit there. You know, I made a special bracket, you know, to adapt the pump, so I can put it on the original stuff there. So that's pretty much ready to go, other than the lines and stuff. And then I made this aluminum tank reservoir for it, so these will be our drains coming from the machine. We got a vent here. This will be the fill. I got to put another fitting in here because I'm changing some stuff. I had to take this one out because it's in the way. I got a little sight gauge, and this is more than enough oil. And this is the suction side, and inside here I have a screen on there that goes inside as a screen strainer. so it'll suck it out of there, and I got it off the ground so debris and crap can settle down to the bottom. Anyway, next thing we gotta do is get that taken care of and put back in there and mount it in there. Then I'll do the hydraulic lines, and the last thing will be the electricity for it. Okay, we got the whole setup done. We got oil on our pump, or in the reservoir, in the pump. This is my electric 1/4 horse 3-phase motor and pump. Behind there you can see my reservoir, and I didn't know how much oil this was going to pump, so I teed the outside, and then I put a return line going back to the tank with this ball valve, so then that way I can adjust how much oil I'm getting up to the top. But anyway, I've got everything in there running, and so now I just got to button it up. Everything's been pretty well tested, and everything, I'll button it up, and I'll give you another video of it showing it running. Oh, we finally got him all back together. Well, I'm going to do a little run here. Got the pump mounted and everything. And now I turn this switch on here. That turns the oil pump on, and we'll see oil coming up here. Now the oil pump's running. Hope I can get... well, anyway, the oil is running. And, I can't hear anything. So we're going to make a little cut here. Now that's the 3-phase motor for the lathe itself. Now we'll get the spindle going. Make a little cut. Sounds a lot better than it did. Now that's all I hear when the spindle stops. I think I can live with that. Well, thanks for watching, guys.